Today we're out here on location at the NALTC, and we were able to sit down with some students who are currently enrolled in the program and just ask them questions. We get some insight on what day one was like, how they've transformed through the process, some of the benefits out of it. If this is something you're thinking about going into, this will be an episode you don't want to miss. Let's get into it. You're listening to PowerGridTalks, from the bucket trucks to the boardrooms. I'm your host, Tom Williamson, a journeyman lineman with over 15 years in the trade. Here we bring you real stories and real conversations from the field to the executive suites of the electric utility world. It's about the people who keep the power flowing and the grid strong. Let's get to work. Today, for PowerGridTalks, we're out here at the NALTC Climate School with Reed and Timothy. How we doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Doing good,
Great.
man. Doing good. Appreciate you guys taking some time to sit down with me today.
Yes, sir.
How many weeks have you guys been here?
15. I think this is 15th week right now. So
we're at the end of it, right?
yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
sir.
Good deal. How about just a little bit of introduction as far as like how you found the NALTC and what got you to this point. So let's go ahead and start with Timothy.
One day I was just driving my truck because I'm a semi-truck driver before I came here. And I was on the phone with my buddy, his dad, and his dad's friend. And I think it was a Thursday in April 2024. And we were discussing kind of what my future is going to look like. And I was thinking maybe I go over the road, maybe not. And his dad's a truck driver, and they both were like steering me a little bit away from trucking.
Yeah.
And we started discussing blue-collar jobs. Linemen came up quite a few times, and that Thursday we sat down in Buffalo Wild Wings and just decided let's do some research on this a little bit.
Cool.
Searched up lineman school. First one that came up is NLTC. Did a little bit of research and realized it had some pretty good stats as of graduation-wise and finding a job. And then we looked at the price and the people we talked to when we called the school. The ladies in the office were really, really nice. And then the location, Tennessee. I've always wanted to kind of live in Tennessee. And what not a better place to start than going to school for 15 weeks, right?
Okay. All right. So how far from home is this for you?
It's about 6 hours. I live in central Illinois, Champaign County.
Oh, okay. All right. Good deal. And when you were driving your semi, you were home in your bed every night?
Yes,
Okay.
I was.
So you weren't on the road for that.
I was not.
But you
yeah.
were still working how many days a week? 5, 6, 10,
I was
12?
working 5, 6, occasionally 7.
Okay. So still a lot of hours, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You figured out sitting in that seat every day wasn't what you wanted.
Not at all.
Okay.
It got
Okay.
pretty boring and repetitive after a while.
Okay. How about you, Reed?
So about 2 years ago, I kind of decided that the trade that I was in, I was doing HVAC at the time. I was kind of getting bored with it. I wanted something more challenging. My uncle was a troubleman down in southeast Missouri. He'd always talk to me about the trade. I always, looked up to these guys, knowing that they're kind of like the Navy SEALs of the blue-collar industry, just as tough as it gets. And I kind of wanted something like that in my life, something I could be proud of every time that I, said what I did for a living. And so I just kind of started doing research. And I was trying to get on without going to school at first. Had my CDL. I obtained that on my own. I had an eval for a company. I didn't end up getting lucky enough with that to land a job, but decided that I wasn't going to get a job unless I had a certification from a school. So I kind of did some research. I had a buddy here last semester, and he was telling me all the great things about it. I did some research. It's between here and another school down in Georgia. This was closer. The job placement rating was a lot better here, so I ended up coming here, and I'm happy I did. So.
Nice. Good
Yes,
deal.
sir.
So you actually had a family member in the trade, so you
Yes,
had a
sir.
little bit of an inside scoop as far as behind the curtains what it takes every day, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the HVAC side, were you doing residential or commercial?
I was doing a mix of both. I was doing commercial, and then I kind of I was trying to get into this trade pretty hard and kind of wanted some more money. I ended up doing highway construction for about the last year or so. Did HVAC out of high school, and then I got into highway construction, was trying to chase the money a little bit, and still kind of decided, hey, this was in the back of my head the whole time. So never really left my mind, and I was just trying to get here any way I could. So
Yeah, just figuring out the opportunity, right?
yes, sir. Yeah, ended up landing here.
Okay, nice. And we're talking to Brody Gump. How we doing, Brody?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Been a busy day, huh?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So, where are you from, Brody?
I'm from Noblesville, Indiana. It's about 45 minutes north of Indianapolis.
So what's that, about a 5-6 hour drive for you to get here?
Yeah, it's about 5.5.
Okay.
We come through Evansville and then go straight through Owensboro and come straight here.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So what brought you to NALTC? How'd you pick here?
I actually knew a couple of buddies that went to my high school, and they both came here, and they loved it. They told me all about it. I kept asking questions day in and day out, just trying to make sure that I wanted to come here and know that this is the trade that I wanted to be in, and they just had nothing but good things to say about it here. So
Okay. So you did a little bit of research on your own, was lucky enough to have some inside scoop.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. Good deal. And now you're at the last week, right? You feel like it was a pretty good choice?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's awesome. So what were you doing before you came here?
I actually ran a mowing and landscaping business in my
Okay.
hometown. Ran it through a couple towns. Loved it, but I needed to get out of that.
Yeah.
So,
Still outside though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. What made you decide to quit doing that and try to be a lineman?
I was originally going to play football in college. That was my number one option. Then got to thinking about it, and I was like, man, I cannot do school for 4 more years. And so I was talking to my dad. He was like, why don't you go think about going to the electrical side of it? And so I did some research on that, saw my local 481, and signed up for the apprenticeship, went in, had to do the aptitude test, passed that, and then went in for the interview. Didn't make it through the interview. I didn't have any experience at electrical, and when they're doing that, they were like, we kind of want some experience when you're going into it. And so my dad, after that, he was like, have you ever thought of becoming a lineman? Because I was like, I didn't really even know what that was.
Yeah, what's
at
a
that
lineman,
point.
right?
Yeah. And so I did some research, and that's how I became and wanted to come here.
Okay. All right. And I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like when you get to the interview stage at some of those different trades, when you're right out of high school and a little bit younger, they are looking for a little bit more experience sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That's
Yes,
part of it. So now you've got 15 weeks of experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And you wouldn't change it for the world at this
No,
point.
sir.
Okay. Was there anybody in particular that pushed you towards the career other than your dad? Is your dad a lineman?
He is not.
Okay.
He's an electrical engineer.
Ah,
And
okay.
so that's why he kind of pushed me towards
Towards
that
the electrical side. I got it.
Because he was telling me all about it, and
And you knew you didn't want school anymore.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yes,
Makes
sir.
sense. What made you choose the NALTC over the other training programs besides the fact that your buddies went here? Was there anything else that pushed you this direction?
I'd seen some videos online,
Yeah.
and I kind of saw their yard and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, dude, that looks awesome to me.
Did you come visit?
I did not have the chance to come visit here, but my buddy, he came here and he told me all about it, and he was like, Andy, the owner here, he is a great guy, sweet person to talk to, and all this kind of stuff, and so I was like, it's a perfect fit for me.
Perfect. So it just made sense at that point, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about that first week. 15 weeks ago, you walk in the doors. What's that first week like?
It was rough. It was definitely rough. Trying to figure out all this kind of stuff. Trying to start climbing. Before I came in here, I was like, climbing, that can't be that hard.
Looks easy.
It looks easy. And then you get to it, and you put on those gaps, and you're like, what do I do next? How do I flip this belt? How do I time my steps correctly? So it was definitely a learning curve. Something that I'd never done before. Like, that was definitely challenging.
Yeah.
But
Out of your comfort zone.
definitely out
Yeah.
of my comfort zone. And week after week, keep going at it, and you'll see a result.
Yeah. A little bit easier every day.
Yes, sir.
Nice. So what was the biggest surprise for you? Other than the out of your comfort zone part, what surprised you the most in those first week or two?
Definitely, like, the culture here. I love the culture here. I was not expecting that I would come in here and start forming bonds with these kind of people. That is what surprised me on this first week. I'm talking to all these people that I've never met, and it's feeling like I've known them. Talking about hunting, talking about fishing, all these kind of things that we have in common together. Like, it was just awesome to me how, these people that I just met are like now my friends, and
Yeah.
we're all hanging out.
People
So,
from all over the country you
Yeah.
had never talked to before.
I'm talking to people
Yeah.
from California, Vermont, Maine, It was pretty sweet.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have never got that mowing grass in Noblesville.
No.
As far as like the program and what you've learned since it started, right? What's that look like for you guys? When you first came into the school, what did you expect day one?
I wasn't really sure. Came here and, I knew we were going to learn how to climb. I knew I'd probably get the basics of electricity down. And other than that, I was kind of coming into it pretty blind. I did a little bit of research and knew that they'd give me all the foundation that I needed to succeed. But other than that, I really was coming in it pretty blind. That's about it with that. So
Yeah, I'd say I'm about the same. I came in pretty blind. I knew I'd learn how to climb.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of research on like what these schools entail, but for me, I had not a clue on what a lineman really does for the most part, or how electricity works. I knew you climbed electrical poles and you made sure the power was on, but it's as far as I got, and we learned quite a bit here, I'd say.
Good deal. So the last 15 weeks has been a big change for you guys, right? You just kind of opened your eyes to what it's going to take when you're done. Because week 15, you're out the door here and you're back in the real world, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What's that transition kind of look like so far? I know they do a pretty good job here of giving you guys an idea of, what companies are hiring, what companies aren't, that kind of stuff. Have you guys had people reaching out to you, talking to people about interviews, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a great job. They've had how many companies? Probably 10 come in.
At least.
Yeah, at least 10 companies probably come in, and they actually gave us a list with all the contractors and co-ops, municipalities, all that kind of stuff, so we could reach out to them and try to get the ball rolling for ourselves. They gave us a lot of tools that we could use to, here's a website that we could check out or upload our resume to, do anything we could to get the next step up. So they've helped a lot with that. I mean, is there anything else you could think of?
They also helped us with mock interviews.
Yeah.
And setting up our resume and cover letter and how all that looks, how to look, and when to follow up, everything like that.
Yeah.
As far as after you've got contact with a company, applying to all these different places. So I think we're pretty prepared to get in as long as we can get in contact with the company.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, these jobs are competitive, right? These companies that you guys are trying to get hired on with, they have people knocking down their door trying to get to them. So there is an approach there, right? You've got to understand that you've got to stand out from the crowd. You've got to invest in yourselves like you guys already have and build some skills there. Once they see some of that commitment, that opens up a lot more opportunities and a lot more doors for you guys too.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys visit the campus before you came?
I did not have time to get down here.
So a blind show up. You were going off
Yes,
of what
sir.
the internet told you, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What was that first feeling when you got in here?
I was pretty blown away. I seen the fence outside. I'm sure you've seen it
Yeah.
coming in. I thought that was pretty freaking cool. And then the NALTC made out with the old poles out front kind of blew my mind. I
Yeah.
thought it was really cool to see.
Heck yeah.
So,
I think my case is a little funny. They offer tours, so you're allowed to come here before you even apply, and that's what you're supposed to do, so that you kind of look at the campus and you can compare it to other schools and you can kind of understand what applying to get into NALTC will look like and what you learn here. Well, I already applied, and then I came to the tour on August 8th there, Friday, and luckily I was pretty blown away with what I saw here and how Andy there, he sold the school really, really well, and so far everything he said has come true.
So they lived up to the expectations, right?
Absolutely.
Good deal.
If anything, they blew it out of the water.
That's
So.
awesome. It is a pretty cool campus when you pull on. They take a lot of pride in making themselves look like they want you guys here, right? I mean, who wants to go to school that doesn't want you here?
Yeah.
Right? So
Right.
they've gone through all the hoops to do everything to make it look cool, have the signs, they have everything set up in good stations and everything's clean. It is a pretty good setup, I feel like. So
absolutely.
what's been the hardest part of this program so far? What do you think?
I'd say that first 4 weeks for me, learning how to climb was a lot harder. I guess it wasn't harder than I expected because I knew it would be hard, but it was a different challenge that I've never really faced in my life before. And that first week, it was rough.
Yeah.
Getting on that pole, putting my first gaff in, learning how to put the gear on was a whole entire new thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even search any like TikToks on how to climb or how the gear works. And then that first week, getting up the 20, the 20-foot pole. Ooh, I thought that was really high up.
Yeah. So it was more of a mental toughness than it was a physical toughness, right?
Absolutely.
It's like you said, you can't describe what it's like when you put these gaffs on and you are climbing this pole. People think your whole foot's touching the pole. There is nothing touching the pole but the tip of the sink pin, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And you're sitting here thinking, hold on a minute. I'm a 180, 200-pound guy. How is this going to hold me, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it does.
It does. It takes a bit to trust your equipment.
Yeah.
But once you do, it kind of clicks.
Okay. All right. How about for you, Reed?
Pretty much the same thing. I mean, I had a little bit of climbing experience. My uncle helped me out before coming down here, but it had been a while since I've actually climbed, and coming here, learning their technique helped me a big time. So I was, I was getting real exhausted the way that I was taught to climb before by my uncle, and I just was learning that, and that was kind of nerve-wracking at first too. I'd been up on a pole, but still, I mean, even like he said, the 20s were kind of daunting at first, getting over that. And the biggest thing I think too for me was I'm 25 years old. I'm quite a bit older than most guys that come here, and I was used to being the young pup on all my other job sites. So I come here and I'm, with a bunch of 18-year-olds. Everybody's calling me grandpa, all that kind of thing. So that was a big thing for me too. It's kind of a culture change, but I love all the guys. We have a great bond, and it's kind of cool to be back with a young group of guys. So.
Yeah. When you climb now this week, today, I'm sure, right?
Yes, sir.
What's some of the biggest difference between that and the first time you climbed? Like I'm 100% positive I wasn't even there the first time you guys got on a pole, right?
Yep.
But I guarantee you were squeezing that buck squeeze as tight as you could, right? You were trying to wrestle it up the pole.
Yep.
So between that and today, you feel a lot more relaxed?
Absolutely. I think, like you said, my knuckles were wide on that buck squeeze. My arms are hurting me. It's kind of natural now. It kind of feels like riding a bicycle. Like you don't forget it. It's like relearning how to walk. It's kind of how I would put it. And I'm a lot more relaxed. It's like second nature now. So you don't even think about it. I mean, really, at all.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
it's like climbing up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
You just got used to it, and it's not as daunting anymore.
Just another day. Right?
Exactly.
Which that's how it is in the trade, right? When you go to work every day, you may be in a bucket that day, you may be digging a hole that day, you may be climbing a pole that day. You don't know. So it's got to be just like it's another day, and you've got to be able to tackle it that way. So that's cool that they already got you to that point. What's been the hardest part of the program for you?
Through this program, my hardest thing for probably the first 4 to 5 weeks was being able to trust my equipment. I was scared up on top of that pole, as probably most of us were, but it was just that fear of looking down. You're like, what if this belt does give out? What if my gaffs do slip out and I don't have my black tightened all the way? And I'm falling all the way down this pole. But, I overcame that and by actually gaffing out and realizing that it actually does catch you.
Yeah, fall protection is there for a reason. It works, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Keeping that locked leg whenever you're coming down, extending. So that was definitely.
So learning how to trust that stuff and learning that, hey, I can do this was the hardest part, right?
Yes, sir.
Other than the repetitive part of that, was there anything else that helped you overcome that, oh my gosh, I can't do this mindset?
After starting to climb the 40s.
Yeah.
Because we were on those 20s, and I was like, I'm so high up in the air right now. Like, this is so scary. We climbed those 40s for the first time, and I looked down, and I'm like, whoa, that was nothing. And then we keep climbing them day in after day out, and I'm like, I'm just getting used to this now. Like, I look down, and it's like, I've been seeing this for the past week. I feel comfortable up here.
Yeah, that repetition makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
For sure. It helps you kind of get out of your own way.
And especially towards, week 7 and week 8, when we started to have, those conditioning weeks where they're pushing us now. And we go out there, climb 20, 25 poles a day, and you get done, you're exhausted, and you're like, but that really does, benefit you in the long run. It sucks in the moment, but after, it's like, we really just did that.
Yeah.
And I feel great.
Makes you proud of what you did,
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So what's been your favorite part of the training so far?
My favorite part here was actually the night games.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about, if you were talking about climbing or something, but night games was my favorite. I love that. Being able to go out there and see what it would actually be like in the real world. You're with a crew of about 15 people, and you pick one elite lineman and one foreman. And those elite linemen and foremen, they'll go out, inspect the job, and come back and talk to your team about what you guys need to do. So there were lines hanging over each other, crossed up. They were all live. And so we had to figure out what we were going to do. We had to go ground them and then come back down and start hanging cross arms, start using slack blocks and pull our phases together. So I really loved that. And using those headlights.
Yeah. So you knew it was coming? You knew you were going to have something, you just didn't know what, right?
We knew that we were going to have something. They were kind of building it up. They're like, you guys aren't going to know what you're going to have, but it is going to be something that you guys have not seen before.
That's cool.
So that's what I love that.
And that's about as real world as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that it was like getting to be that real world experience. And it's not, oh, we did this yesterday, blah, 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 blah. Like, we'd never seen that before.
That's
so
awesome.
It was sweet.
What do you think was the biggest impact on you as far as, like, was there a certain lesson that was a biggest impact on you, or was there a certain instructor that gave the biggest impact?
I feel like, in general, it was the safety.
Okay.
Because these instructors, they'd tell us stories. And it'd be like, I know that this happened to somebody and this happened to somebody, and this is why this happened to somebody. Whether it's because they didn't cover up properly, whether it's because they didn't use their rubber gloves and sleeves, or, just something along those lines. Like, it's just having those stories from other people, and they're so relatable to that safety.
Yeah.
It really hits home.
Yeah. And they're relatable because those people live through that situation, right? Those instructors are telling stories about stuff that they were there when it happened, or at least in the same yard as whoever got the incident or the near miss or the injury or whatever. When you hear somebody talk like that, you can tell how real it is in their voice, can't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes a big difference. Obviously, when you were mowing grass before this, safety was important, right? Mm-hmm. Did you realize how important safety was in this trade before you got here?
No, not at all. I didn't think that, I thought, before I even came here, I thought it was, there'd be one switch and all the power's done.
Yeah.
And then you just go up there. You don't have to wear any rubber gloves and sleeves. I didn't know what those were.
Yeah.
I didn't think you had to use a shotgun stick or something like that. I kind of underestimated what it really was.
Yeah.
And then you see it out here, and it's like, this can be dangerous if you do it the wrong way.
Yeah, and everything looks the same, whether it's energized or de-energized. You can't always tell by just looking at the wire, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of aspects in life that don't have that same risk built into them as this industry does,
yes, sir.
And I feel like it's pretty important that kids figure that out pretty early in the game, right?
Absolutely.
Which instructor or which part of this program, you guys can kind of go with either one, had the biggest impact on you? Is there a certain instructor, or is there a certain piece of the program that you think, oh man, that really hit me hard?
I think, all of them they're really great. Bobby, really, one of the instructors here, he really took the time out of the day to, say, hey, I care about what you guys do, and, trying to help us get that next step and to get in a career. And, they're all great. Tim, who you'll be talking with, he's great too. He's gave me a lot of knowledge, not just on the trade, but in life as well. And I think always making sure that we're doing something too whenever this translates. So we're a good grunt, pretty much is what that's a big thing for me, is that they've really told us, like, hey, don't be lazy. Don't be standing around with your hands in your pockets. Just get to it. And,
that's it.
That's a big thing for me. So
yeah.
That's going to stick with me for forever, hopefully.
And there is a lot to that. When you get out there and you're on a crew, whether it be a telecom, a tree trimming crew, a line crew, a utility, whatever it is, when everyone else is standing around and just shooting the shit, as a new guy, you're the guy that's cleaning the truck off. You're the guy that's making sure you've got what you need. You're asking, hey, what's this? Hey, what's this? This is a tool I've never seen before. What is this tool? Where can I get more squeeze-ons at? All of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you're going to be, right? Because that's where we all started. Everybody started there. So what about you, Tim? What's the biggest impact for you?
I'd have to agree. Bobby's been a really good instructor, as all of them have been. But he took a lot of time out of his lunch times to kind of help me learn how to climb.
That's cool.
In the beginning there, and that really stuck with me. JJ helped me as well a lot with some of his lunch times when it came to rigging and hanging the cross arms. But one of the biggest things that stuck with me, Tim and Bobby both shared a pretty gruesome story, I'd say. Probably one of the darker sides of the trade, but it's going to stick with me because it shows the major importance of safety. All it takes is a pinhole
Yeah.
So as a grunt, I'll be checking every glove, every blanket, every gut,
Yep.
anything I send up there, and I'd say that'll stick with me for a while.
And that's good that will stick with you. That I feel like a lot of people in this trade get complacent because it's the same task over and over again, right? You're going out working on power lines, and that's not the same line every day. It's not the same pole every day, but it is the same overall. You're working on power lines. You're working on power lines, and they start making jokes and not really paying attention to the little things anymore. And more times than not, it's the little things in this trade that's going to get you hurt, right? So that's awesome that they're instilling that. What did the NALTC teach you about safety? Did they drive that home quite a bit?
Absolutely. I mean, that's like the number one thing that they teach here. Kind of like what he said, some of the sad, stories that we've heard, everybody thinks about that. And, I think that's the number one thing is safety out here. And they always tell us the most important thing is that you go home at the end of the day and you arrive in one piece for your family. And they've done everything. I mean, we have an OSHA class, gone over that. It's OSHA ET&D, which I know not a lot of places require yet, but they're starting to require that at some jobs and whatnot. But it's kind of specialized for the electrical industry and, just everything, whether it's fall, slips, anything. They want us to be careful and not do anything that you can't take back.
And, Tim, did that make you understand a little bit more about the hazards in the industry? Because like you said, before you came, you didn't know much about the industry, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things in this industry that are out there that could make you not go home that day, right?
Right, yeah. There's a lot of you don't want to have too many near misses because all it takes is one.
Yeah. And, taking those extra chances, if it takes 2 seconds longer, make it take 2 seconds longer to do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
Don't walk underneath that guy climbing up the pole. Walk around the base of it if you can, because you never know what might come down, right? Hit you on the head and all that good stuff.
And
so
one thing they've told us too is about shortcuts, and they're like, you may take a shortcut here, and then next, then you're like, hey, I can take another shortcut, and it may not get you this time or the next time, but eventually it's going to catch up to you, and I think that's stuck with me pretty good.
Yeah,
So.
Exactly.
And it's real. I mean, you guys can get online and find YouTube videos and everything else of people saying that same thing. It's not real until you talk to people who have walked the walk and been there whenever someone has taken a shortcut. And I think when you've talked to those people, it makes it resonate a little bit more about, oh man, yeah, I need to be making sure I do this right all the time.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about graduation. It's coming up. Do you guys feel like you're prepared to step out into the industry?
Considering 15 weeks ago, I barely knew what a lineman is, and now I feel pretty confident that I could join the industry pretty smoothly, I'd say. I think they do a very good job at preparing us to get into the industry.
What do you feel like as far as job placements? Are you particular about where you land, or would you be happy with any job in the industry that calls you? What's kind of the expectations there?
For me, at least, and a lot of the other guys, we'll be happy to get pretty much anywhere in the industry. If it's fiber, if it's tree trimming, if it's a lot of us are looking for groundman power, but we know if there's a possibility we may not start right as a first step apprentice there. We might have to get in the door as maybe even a janitor sometimes, some people have said, and then work your way up in the company.
Yeah, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Reed?
Yeah, I think kind of like Andy, he told us he'll teach us how to fish, but he ain't going to catch fish for us. So by that, he just means he'll show us how to put in all the time and effort to get a job, but he can't just give us a job. So I think that's a lot of us are having to go out and find it on our own. Yeah. When I came here, I was willing to do whatever it took. I was applying in Texas. I know that's a big spot for a lot of people trying to get into the trade. So I'm from Missouri. It's a little bit of a haul. I was liking to stay closer to home, but I don't have a wife or a kid or anything, so nothing really holding me back. But I was willing to go anywhere, and I'm getting lucky enough speaking with my co-op and a municipality near me, and I think I've got an offer from one of them already. So
nice.
I'm hoping to stay close to home. That's the goal. But
that's exciting. That's
yes,
cool.
Sir. Absolutely.
So no wife, no kids. You have parents at home?
I do, yeah.
How do they feel about you going into this industry?
It worries them a little bit, especially my mom, a little more than my dad.
Yeah.
But my dad sees stuff too where, the deaths and all that, and he gets worried about it, definitely. But other than that, I think they're really proud of me. They know that this is what I've wanted for a long time, and they're happy to see that I'm actually out here doing it.
Nice. Okay.
So.
And how about you, Tim?
It's same here.
Yeah?
I live with my parents back in Illinois, and
Okay.
my dad, he's a lot more relaxed about it. He's very proud of me, obviously. So is my mom, but she's really worried. That's just they're worried.
Yeah. Mom's focused on all the bad stuff, right? Yeah. I think that's pretty natural. What's the thing that makes you the most nervous?
Nervous, I'd say getting on with the first crew.
Yeah.
Gonna be nervous to meet everyone.
Yeah. Nervous
how I look in front of everyone, and nervous that I'll do something stupid.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know that much about line work. I know enough to get in, but after that, it's a big learning experience. So I'm afraid to do something dumb.
Yeah. And I feel like that's pretty common, right? That first day, oh my gosh, who are these guys? What's it going to be like is a big deal. I got in the trade a little bit later in life. So I was 28, I think, when I got a groundman job. And I walked in, did an interview, or did the first half day of hire on. So you're filling out your paperwork and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, we're going to take you out to introduce you to a crew, right? And I'm 5'10", not a real big guy, but not a small guy either. Everybody on this crew was 6'3" or taller and looked like they were lumberjacks, like just huge dudes that all look like they've been working outdoors their entire lives. And I'm like, oh boy, what did I just get myself into, right? But it goes away. It's not a big deal. So what about you, Reed? What makes you the most nervous?
I'd say just making sure that I meet the standard that they're looking for, being as good as they want me to be. They say a lot, you want to be the grunt that you want one day, and I think that's a big thing in my head is, I want to make sure that I am the one that they argue over, just not messing up, kind of like what he said. I am nervous I'm going to mess stuff up or not know everything that I should know coming out, but I think probably just making sure that I'm good enough coming out. I want to be competitive. I want to be good at what I do. So it's a big thing for me.
And one of the ways to do that is to get in there and do it.
Yes, sir.
Right? Don't act like you have all the answers. Don't act like you know everything, but be willing to do whatever they ask of you. Yeah. Let's talk about some of these future students that are getting ready to start. I'm sure beginning of the year they've got another class coming in here, right? What advice do you have for someone who's looking at this school and thinking about making that decision?
I'd say definitely check this school out. Don't overlook it. I mean, it's everything that they've advertised and more. So, this school's great. I'd say make sure you're in shape coming here. That's a big one. I wish I was in better shape coming down here. Not too terribly out of shape, but I was breathing heavy during conditioning week. It was pretty rough. But, I think having a little bit of background too, doing your own research before you come down here is, would help you out a lot. So,
Tim, what do you think is something that you wish you knew before you started?
Wish I knew before I started. I'd say there's a lot less free time than I thought there'd be.
Yeah.
A big thing at the tour, they were talking about hunting and doing all that. I kind of overlooked the fact that it's still school, and I have a lot of studying to do.
Yeah.
And then I also overlooked the fact that I'm not in the best of shape. I mean, even the guys that were in shape, we're all really sore.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, I spent most of the time just resting, relaxing, and studying. So there's a lot less free time than I thought there'd be.
I think a lot of people are I'm not going to say led down the wrong path on that. They have misconceptions about that, right? Because everything else is just a job. You go there, you do your job, you drive your truck, you go home, and you play video games or you do whatever you want the rest of the night. And this trade's not that way. Even after school, after this 15-week program's over, this trade's not that way. You're still going to be doing that learning and doing stuff off the clock and stuff like that if you want to be good at it. If you could talk to the version of yourself that was day one walking in the doors, what would you tell them right now?
Stick to it. Keep putting in the hard work. Keep going and studying. Make friends. Make the best of it. Have a great time. It's the best time of your life, really. There's one small thing here. I kind of wish that I helped some others out a little bit. I made some good friends, and two of them didn't make it to the end of the program. And I feel like if I helped them a little bit more encouragement, I feel like I could have made them push themselves to the end there.
And maybe they were just looking for a little bit more reassurance, right? You never know. And if you could have been that guy for him, you think that would have made a difference for him, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I could have helped them out.
Okay. Well,
I think they had what it takes. They just didn't come to that conclusion.
yeah. And it's hard to do that on your own when you're getting beat down every day. You feel like you're failing every day for the first 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
because you're struggling with everything. Nothing goes right, nothing smooth. So I understand that. That makes sense. All right. How about you, Reed?
I'd say stick with it. Just grind it out and enjoy it while I'm here. It went by in a blink of an eye. So I felt like we walked in the doors yesterday and everybody was putting their tools together. I'd say give it everything you got and soak up as much information as you can. There's years and years of knowledge, decades of knowledge out there. So trying to soak all that up. I mean, that's the number one thing I'd probably tell myself, just learn as much as I can.
The last question I've got for you guys, and we'll go ahead and let Tim answer it first. So in one sentence, what does becoming a lineman mean to you at this point?
I'd say it's a great career that's going to carry me to retirement from now, and it's a good entry to a brothership, and is very fruitful, I'd say.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Reed?
Yeah, this was a hard one. When I seen it, I did a lot of thinking, but I'd say, I'm going to have to fight hard to earn a career, and, join a brotherhood is what I essentially call this. But, join a brotherhood that's just built on grit and determination, and I don't think a lot of people get that.
Yeah, I mean, there is no quit in this trade. When you go out to a call and there's no power at that house, you don't go home until the power comes on.
Yes, sir.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, you wouldn't want somebody to turn around being like, oh, yeah, hey, that's too hard. We can't do that. Well, maybe we'll come back tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that happening to you. You're not going to be that guy to them. And I think there's a lot that people can understand by sometimes that's not an easy decision to make.
No.
When you've already been working 14 hours straight and you're coming up on hour 15 and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. It's raining. It's cold out here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's no quit. There's no stop. You ready for that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Good deal. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time, and hopefully we didn't take up too much of your time for classes. Hopefully they don't make you climb extra or anything.
Oh, I hope not.
hope
Yes,
not.
sir. Had a great time, though. Thank you for having us
Yeah.
on. So
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for having us.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Do you feel like you're prepared to go into the industry after being here for 15 weeks?
I would not say that I feel totally prepared. There's
Yep.
still so much I have to learn.
Yep.
I'm scared to go into the industry. I'm going in and talking to people that I've never met before, and I'm going to be actually working with these people for probably at least a year, if not, who knows, the rest of my life.
Maybe.
So I'm definitely scared, but I'm also ready to see what it has to bring.
I understand. That makes sense. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way, right? That's a pretty common mindset to have. But just to know that, hey, when you get to that point of, man, I don't know what to do next, just ask the question.
Yeah.
Right? Talk
Yes,
to
sir.
somebody. Let's figure it out, that kind of stuff. That's why in line work we work as crews, and I feel like they put you guys together as crews a lot here to simulate that same kind of
Oh, yeah.
mentality, right?
For the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, we've been in crews every day. You're with that team every day, and there's 8 of you, 7 or 8 of you, and you guys go out and tackle the task for the day, whether that's hot work or hanging wires. It's really fun.
So what are you most excited about as you finish this program? Next steps, what makes you most excited?
To see, take what I learned here and take it into the real world and see, how, I don't know how to word this,
Applying it? Just
Yes, applying what I learned here out there.
Yep.
And if they're within a year or something, they're like, you go ahead, I'll be with you, do this job brief this time.
Yeah.
I go out there, assess, maybe I get it wrong, and I learn from it. If I get it right, I'm like, okay, there, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the cool part is you'll have a leg up on guys who haven't done a situation like this, right? They haven't done one of these 15 schools. They don't know what a job briefing looks like or how to even conduct one. You guys tackle some of that while you're here, don't you?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's
we
pretty
have to,
awesome.
They hone in on making sure that you sign that job brief. So making sure that you are accountable for you every day. And they always talk about, how a story happened, somebody got hurt, OSHA comes out, first thing they do is check that job brief.
Yep.
see if that person's name was signed or not.
Yep.
So every time we come back from lunch, we make sure we initial our name and everything. And the foreman for our crew, we get a new foreman every day. We kind of
rotate it.
Yep, we
Nice.
rotate. And they make sure that everybody signs, hand out the piece of paper before we even go out and touch a piece of equipment.
That's awesome. What advice do you have for someone that's out there thinking about going to line school, right? Someone that was where you were 15 weeks ago, and they're trying to make that decision. What advice do you have for them?
It's definitely not easy. Like, people think, oh, line school, I'm going to go out, I'm just going to climb, I'm going to go use some tools, go into the classroom, do some classwork, hang some transformers. It is so much deeper than that. You got to know how to tie all these tie wires. You're going to learn all these knots, your square knot, your bowline knot, your half hitches. It's a lot of, understanding the trade too. Like, it's a lot deeper than people would understand, but I recommend it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love every second of it. But it's definitely not easy, and you're going to have to grind for it.
So they need to be ready to take on the challenge, because it's not just the highlight reels that they see online, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome, and I feel like that's a pretty good note to make, just because some of these programs are just climbing, right? And that's not the best for the industry. Mm-mm. You need to go out there and you need to find what fits good for you. And I feel like here at the NALTC, they do a really good job at making you guys understand what the industry expects from you.
Yes, sir. And here, I love it because, early on, before we even got into crews and stuff, we have pretty much like 3 classes. So we'd have a climbing portion for 2.5 hours a day. And then we'd go out into the field and we'd do tie wires for 2.5 hours a day. And then we'd come in the classroom and, actually learn about the electricity part of it and how, electricity flows, how much. So that's what I really like. So it's not really just you're doing one thing all day long.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You're learning multiple things at a time.
And they're breaking it up, right?
Yes, sir.
So you don't get completely burned out on one thing.
Absolutely.
So what's something you wish you knew before coming to the NALTC, other than the fact that it's harder than you thought it was going to be? What else is something that you wish you knew before you came here?
I'm not really sure. I guess climbing. I just thought climbing was going to become so natural for some reason.
It's wild how you put this device in your foot, right? And the only part that touches the pole is the size of this ink pen. Mm-hmm. And they tell you to go 60 foot up in the air with just that touching the pole, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, other than your fall protection, that's all that touches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you just have to trust that piece of metal.
Yeah.
Is going to, hold you. But it does.
How'd your feet hold up?
They hurt.
Yeah.
They still
Especially
do
at the beginning, right?
They still do a little bit, but at the beginning,
yeah.
Definitely.
Good pair of boots is pretty important, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You don't want to go to Walmart and get boots for climbing school.
No, sir. Don't regret that.
I think that part is missed a lot. I think people think that just any pair of boots will work. And if you're out climbing all day, you definitely want a pair of climbing boots. It's worth it. 1,000%. So if you could go back to yourself and you're 18 weeks ago mowing grass at home in Noblesville, what would you tell yourself before coming into this program?
Sit in front of the class. Be able to, pay attention. Be right in front of that instructor when he's talking, so your full focus is on him. Be the first one up the pole. Make that mistake. Don't be afraid of making that mistake, because when you make that mistake, they're going to help you out. The instructors, they'll help you. They'll tell you what you did, and you can learn from that mistake that you made and improve on it the next time. And so that next time you don't mess up on the same thing. Maybe you mess up on something else, and then you learn from that as well. So I definitely would put those 2 things up there.
I think that's great. I think it's important for people to understand that the more involved they are in these programs, the more they're going to get out of it,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So get involved, be active, stay in front of the class, pay attention, all that stuff. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
Absolutely.
And you're going to need this for life, right? This is your career.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Pretty
Absolutely.
awesome. So in one sentence, what does becoming a lineman mean to you?
At first, I thought becoming a lineman was, just if I'd have said this at the start of this semester, I'd have been like, a lineman, turns on electricity, fixes wires. But truly, what it means to me is being able to face any challenge that would come your way. Being able to go out there on storm and tackle that task. Being able to go out there during the daytime when it's hot, 100 degrees, and you got to wear your rubber gloves and sleeves. Being able to tackle that challenge. Just being able to, become or overcome any adversity that's in your way.
That's so awesome. Yeah. I think that is the biggest part of the trade that people don't understand is it is basically constant challenges.
Yes, sir.
And being able to figure out that, hey, just because it's hard doesn't mean I can't do it. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
No, that's awesome, man. Brody, I appreciate you making time to come in here and talk to me. Hopefully they don't make you climb more poles for missing a little bit of time with the class.
Yes,
but
sir.
I hope graduation goes good, and we'll definitely be following up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That's it for today's episode of Power Grid Talks, from the bucket trucks to the boardrooms. I'm your host, Tom Williamson. I want to thank you for joining me as we talk to the people behind the scenes who keep our grid strong. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a share, and leave a review so we can keep bringing more voices from across the utility world to the conversation table. You can also find us at PowerGridTalks.com. Until next time, stay safe and keep the power flowing.